What's up, guys? I'm Scriminal, and today I'm going to show you some gameplay from Ashes of the Singularity. It's currently a pre-beta build, and I want to show you the newest faction that they just put into the game, which is Substrate. And we're just going to be playing on a normal AI and on a different map than I have been playing before, so we'll see how it goes. Throughout it too, I think I just want to kind of go over some of the little tips and tricks, like strategy things that I kind of picked up on, because I noticed the computer, like AI, does some really weird stuff sometimes to kind of help itself out. And I went through and kind of watched the AI one time on my team, and it kind of gave me a few little insights on how to play the game a little more effectively. And so throughout, I'm going to kind of try to explain what was going on. Okay, so first little trick here. Always put your assembly or first little building right next to one of the extractors, or I guess control points, whatever you want to call them, because as it starts building, it'll capture it, and there won't be any little creeps running around there. And sorry about any of the sniffles you hear. A little sick, so trying to do this as effectively as possible while being sick. Always try to start that assembly and then go ahead and start building those extractors, like I just did here. And I might go ahead and just kind of fast forward or skip forward a little bit to kind of shorten this. I don't like watching 30-minute videos, so I'm sure you guys don't want to either, so I'm going to try to just make this pretty concise as far as what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. So now that it finished building the assembly, now I just want to make whatever is kind of like the easiest little guys to create. So on Substrate, I like to make the martyrs, and then on PHC I like to make the little drones, because even though it says they're unarmed, they still can do like 2 damage, and they can cover a lot of ground fairly fast, so you can go ahead and start capturing points fairly quickly before a lot of the creeps start getting built. So ideally you can maybe get like 3 or 4 control points with those small guys before you need to start using anything that has a little bit bigger of weapons. And then also you can use your constructor to start helping out the assembly. So you just highlight them and then right click onto the assembly, and it helps to build them a little faster, which is a really good thing for especially when it's a really good thing for when you start out, because then you're obviously getting units out, and they can start capturing stuff a little quicker. Then the next thing that you want to do is start building a little bit more like constructs and stuff, so you can get more assemblies, because you're gonna start wasting materials really fast if you don't have your assemblies. And then taking those little units that keep getting built and just kind of spreading them out, and always kind of keeping them moving towards the next points. The worst thing that you can do is let them sit there, especially at the beginning, because you're wasting materials, you're wasting time, and that's all time that your enemy is going to be moving up as well. So you can see here, I'm trying to get these guys organized in some sort of a way to start capturing both points on the right and on the left. And then I end up building this assembly here, and eventually I build one down to the left there as well. But ideally, again, you always want to just keep having them push forward up until about the middle, because that's usually obviously where the conflicts are going to be. But you want to be able to give yourself time to prepare some sort of defenses, whether that's with units or with the defenses from like the constructs and stuff. So that's what I'm going to be doing for the next few minutes here, is just trying to get as many units to those control points as possible, and also building assemblies so I don't start wasting metal. So now at this point, I created a couple more assemblies, and I'm creating my quantum generator, so it's going to let me do all those upgrades and stuff. And then ideally I want to get to the point where I can build, or I can have 2 assemblies going that are building tier 1s, and one that's doing tier 2s, basically for each lane that I'm trying to push or build into. And then I'll do the dreadnoughts. So right now it's just kind of, again, micromanaging, making sure I'm spreading my units out appropriately to capture what I need and make sure I'm staying ahead of the metal and radioactive getting completely maxed out, which at this point not going too well. I'm kind of wasting a lot of materials, which is not what you want to do, but eventually I'll get it to even out, and we'll kind of look at that. So next little tip I want to go to is, so I just started building the advanced assembly for dreadnoughts, and then it basically just tanked my metal as I just put up logistics. But and I realized I need to get more metal. So what you can actually do is take that construct and go ahead and build stuff, and then that assembly isn't going to go away as long as those bars don't fill up. So that assembly, you can kind of see how it's going down just really, really slowly, and that goes for every building. So if you need to pause building something, you just kind of move your construct away or have them go do something else, and you can always make them come back to it. That'll save you a lot of materials sometimes, and make sure that you don't completely tank your economy. Oh, and also, kind of want to mention this, what I've been doing for all these units is whenever you build and get a nice big group together, you always want to hit V to form the army. Makes them work as one unit, and it really helps as far as coordination goes. You can end up just selecting one, and then it'll take that whole group. So all these guys are working kind of together, and if one starts getting attacked, they'll all kind of join in. So right here I'm just kind of trying to fight off those guys, but still you can't get distracted by like the little minor fights that happen, because if you start trying to micromanage those, you'll kind of lose a step on your enemy. So with this, again, I'm kind of hitting V right there to try to get them all together, and they're going to kind of fight off this small group that's trying to push towards the middle. And then at the same time, I'm putting constructs there and moving another group to a terrarium area. So now what's going on is I'm not getting enough quanta fast enough to kind of keep up with the logistics and upgrades that I need to be making. So since I have enough radioactive and stuff, I just want to start making those quantum generators. I like to build a lot of them, especially if I'm not able to build units. Like, I didn't really manage it too well right here for a little while. So he's going to be making a bunch of those, and then hopefully I'll be able to, there we go, able to make those logistics. So now I can keep building. I'm not losing a ton of material, which is good. I try to keep those numbers at -1 or +2, somewhere around there is obviously ideal, or 0, because that just means whatever you're inputting, you're outputting to. Worst thing you can do is if it's a very high number plus, or obviously if you have 0 and it's all in a negative. That just goes down to the whole economy thing, but ideally when you start making dreadnoughts, you want to make sure you start it when your metal and radioactives are high, otherwise it's going to completely tank everything and you gotta put everything else on pause. Also here, I'm not really sure what the AI on my team was trying to do. Sometimes they get a little overzealous and one will get attacked by a defense from the next point and they all kind of rush in. So you kind of need to watch that, and here I'm just trying to organize them and getting them pulled back, because sometimes they'll basically kill themselves because they're a little too anxious to get in and attack things. So kind of want to pay attention to that too. If you start seeing those points flash on the map, it usually is because one or two of them strayed a little too far and pulled a bunch of them. Hopefully that doesn't continue once it's out of beta build, but it's kind of annoying sometimes that they just kind of suicide. So right now I'm keeping them behind that middle point. That way if they do push, then all my units can kind of push forward at them as well, versus them just getting picked off slowly. Also here, what I like to do is take my engineers or constructs or whatever and help them build the dreadnoughts faster. That way I'm not wasting so much time not being able to build my other units. So at this point I kind of stopped building at some of my smaller stuff to save on metal, because the dreadnoughts really, really will hammer you if you don't kind of try to put everything else on pause. Hopefully they eventually put like a pause feature on those on like your assemblies and stuff, so you don't have to completely cancel everything. But for now, you just need to cancel whatever you need to keep yourself at fairly stable economy, and then let everything build out. So I skipped several minutes ahead just to kind of show what's going on. I pretty much have had all of this stuff locked down now for a while. Built all my dreadnoughts and created the armies and stuff. But I mean, to win this game, since you only need to get the Tyrannium stuff, just locking down those major choke points like I did in this game is really what you need to do. And a lot of the maps are kind of situated in this way, so you can kind of get yourself to 3 points, 2, 3 points on the map, and as long as you hold those points, they won't be able to kind of push forward and win. So right now I'm kind of letting them have that one Tyrannium point, and then I'm having the other 3, so they didn't really have much of a chance here. And then once I get a little bit closer to winning, I'm going to kind of show you how I like to set up my attacks and stuff. But ooh, right now we're about to go kill a one of the dreadnoughts on their team, so that's always fun too. So I'm going to kind of let this play out. Man, I like that. It looks so cool. Alright, anyways, let's go ahead and skip forward to when we're about to basically wipe the floor with these guys. So once I kind of know that I'm going to win, I like to just kind of give them pathing attack moves to basically go all the way to the Nexus and kill them. So even if I fail, they probably won't be able to take everything, hopefully, but I mean, I haven't lost because of it yet, so at this point I'm just going to kind of give them different paths to go from all the points that I control in those big armies that I had. So at this point, just kind of moving them along, and yeah, gonna go destroy a Nexus. It's gonna be pretty cool. But that's all that's gonna be going on for the next few minutes. But then I'll kind of get on to the analysis of basically how I did with this and what I kind of consider to be doing well. So for time being, it's just gonna be a little bit of fighting, and then once it gets to the graphs and stuff, it's kind of cool to analyze how you did, so you can kind of compare it to how you do and in your battles too.
Dreadnought taking damage. Dreadnought reporting critical damage.
So now in the game summary, just kind of overviewing it real quick. The military loss kind of was just probably because of that last push, but what you really want to look at is the metal radioactives and quanta invested and like harvested and wasted. Ideally, obviously, you don't want to waste anything. And I think I did pretty good on that game, but yeah, I haven't really seen anybody else kind of looking at those and giving an explanation, but I think it went pretty well. Military might hear like dropped at the end, obviously, when I decided to basically suicide a bunch of my people, but and then I think what I probably could have done better is manage the quanta. So you want to always make sure that you're looking at the upgrades and trying to upgrade throughout. The computer actually did more upgrades than I did. But anyways, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this video of Ashes of the Singularity, and I'll see you guys next time.